What's going on, guys? So today I want to talk to you about how to stay motivated when you're trying to lose weight and how to stay motivated in general when you're trying to make a transformation and become a different person. Because that's an interesting question. Me being a former fat boy myself, I understand the struggle. I think essentially motivation, you have to find it. You have to find motivation. Motivation is not something you wake up with every day. You all might have been inspired by my recent video that I posted, and that is good. It's good to be inspired. It's good to have a sense of, hey, I can do this. He did it, I can do it too. But that's not going to take you the rest of the way. What you have to have is motivation. And then after motivation, you have to have a plan. And I talked about that before, but the motivation is the level above inspiration, because inspiration is just something that you get. It's like a spark. It's an energy. It's like a thing that goes off when it's turned on, but it may not stay on. And that's where motivation comes in, because motivation is something that you can turn on and off, in my opinion. One of the things I think you have to do in order to stay motivated is you have to set realistic expectations, realistic goals. You can't be on Instagram looking at guys that have been training for their whole life, professional bodybuilders, and thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like them. No, you're not. Depending on your age, which if you're in your late 30s, early 40s, mid 30s, I would say your 30s in general, reaching for that goal, that's something that you need to just give up at this point. It's not something you need to be pushing for. What you should be pushing for, and I think most guys, most average guys, right? You got a job, you got a family. You don't have to be an IFBB pro or some professional bodybuilder or Division I athlete in order for you to get to the type of physique that you want to get to. So the first thing you got to do is realize, number one, what is my goal? Why do I want to do this? You know what I mean? It could be just as simple as, hey, I want to look better. In order to stay motivated, you have to start small first. I think we all know the things that we need to get rid of, especially when you start on the diet, right? When you start on the diet, you already know what's in your pantry. You already know what's in your cabinets. You've got junk food in there. You've got cookies. You've got, chips. You got all types of processed foods. Start small. That is setting a realistic goal, because if you start small, then you're going to be able to build on that. Meaning, number one, get rid of all the processed foods in your pantry. So that could be potato chips, cookies, all that stuff. Change your environment in general. If you can change your environment, then you're going to have the motivation to go to the next step, which is to become more programmatic about counting your calories, right? A realistic goal for someone that is severely overweight is to start getting rid of junk food. And I would replace it with fruits and vegetables. I think a lot of people honestly believe that they can pretty much get rid of bad calories by simply working out, and that's just not true. I was working out in 2019 and in 2020, and in 2020 I gained the most weight that I've ever weighed in my life. A bad diet cannot be overcome by exercise. But if we do want to talk about exercise, first of all, exercising is something that you need to enjoy to a certain degree. If it's something that you don't enjoy, then it's going to be difficult for you to continue exercising. When I first started, I was doing weights, but then after the weights, I would train on the stair climber for about 30 minutes. So I would go to the gym for an hour. I would split up my training from the weight training first, and then I would do the cardio on the stair climber for about 30 to 45 minutes. Normally, my routine was to target between 200 and 300 calories burned on the stair climber. Why did I choose the stair climber? Because I don't like running on treadmills. I can do it, but it's not something I knew I could be consistent with. So I had to find something that I knew I could be consistent with to help me achieve that caloric deficit, right? Because the caloric deficit doesn't come primarily from exercise. It's really going to come from the food. But the exercising, right, or the cardio specifically, because you don't burn a lot of calories lifting weights, the caloric deficit, you're going to make sure you're in a caloric deficit by doing a cardio. That's the way I thought about it. I didn't think about it from the perspective of, oh, well, this is going to help me burn off some food that I ate the other night that I wasn't supposed to eat. That's not the way you're supposed to think about it. The way you're supposed to think about cardio is, hey, the calorie deficit comes from the food I'm eating, which is essentially going to lead to the weight loss, but the cardio is going to ensure that I am in that caloric deficit, right? Because if you're burning 200 to 300 calories, then you got a 500 calorie deficit, right? Then you're basically, there should be no reason why you shouldn't be losing weight with that type of program. So basically for me, I was doing cardio 4 times a week, 30 to 45 minutes on the stair climber, and I would target basically 200, 300 calories burn on that stair climber. Today, what I primarily do is I play a lot of basketball. I love basketball. Again, I'm motivated to play it. Why? Because it's something I like doing. And I think the reason why you got to think about exercising in terms of motivation is because the calorie deficit is already hard enough, right? When you're trying to eat foods that you don't really like eating on a regular basis, being able to do something exercise-wise that you enjoy doing, at least you know you're going to enjoy it and it's fun. It's something you look forward to. Like I said in the previous video, I follow more of a hypertrophy program. I train basically each body part twice a week. I'm in the gym 5 to 6 days a week. I'm basically doing a lot of different compound movements. So for example, when I'm training chest, I'm doing the bench press. At some point, you can get into the nuances of these things, but just starting out, that's a good place to go, right? So yeah, I would say as far as exercising, you need to do some exercises that you actually are motivated to do. But at the end of the day, what you do on a daily basis over a long period of time will determine what happens to you.